says, let's get it started. And there is the guy that will get it going for the Rangers today. Elvis Andrews at the top of the order. The Rangers trying to go 5-1 on this West Coast road trip. It's a beautiful day for baseball here in Oakland. The first-place Rangers against the second-place Oakland A's. And we welcome you to Texas Ranger Baseball today, along with Tom Grieve. I'm Josh Lewin, and in terms of starters, Colby Lewis on the mound for the Rangers, former Oakland A. Different guy than when the Rangers had him, and he's had a chance here, Tom, to have 3 straight games with 10 strikeouts. Only Nolan Ryan has done that as a Texas Ranger.
That's pretty amazing. And going into his last start in Seattle, Colby had been very good for the Rangers. In that start in Seattle, he was excellent. He can't pitch any better. 9 shutout innings. Just watch a few of his pitches. He had pinpoint command of his fastball, which set up a tremendous assortment of curveballs and sliders that just befuddled Seattle's hitters. It kept them in the game through 9 innings. They went on to win that game in extra innings. And through 5 starts, I don't know how you could have dreamed that Colby could be any better than he's been.
His last 2 starts, and that really doesn't even tell the tale. He was awful at the beginning of that first of those 2 starts and then settled right down. He's actually allowed only 3 hits in his last 14 innings now. Incredible. And 20 strikeouts in those last 2 games. Wow. So getting at it with the young Oakland A's today, and a shot for Colby Lewis to really bring this thing on in as the Rangers prepare for a nice long homestand coming up. Vlad Guerrero had a grand slam yesterday. It wasn't quite enough. Vladdy and the Rangers good to go when we come back. Baseball brought to you today by the Ford F-150. Check out the 2010 F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. By Progressive for a money-saving car insurance quote. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. By Jack in the Box. Right now, choose any 3 for only $3 plus tax. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. Baseball from the beautiful Bay Area. The Rangers have lost 10 of 14 to these Oakland A's going back to last year, but they are even up in this series. They lost yesterday 7-6. Comeback effort falling short. And the Rangers' lead now in that AL West is now down to half a game. The Rangers will be up against a righty today, Trevor Cahill. Ron Washington submits this Southwest Airlines batting order. Andrewson, Young, Hamilton, and Guerrero. The 5 RBI game last night. That included the Grand Slam. Ian Kinsler, who was supposed to have a day off, we heard, but that's not the case. David Murphy, Justin Smoke, Max Ramirez gets a call behind the plate today. And batting ninth is Julio Bourbon against a 22-year-old right-hander, Trevor Cahill.
Second start of the season. He started the season on the disabled list, got roughed up in Toronto, gave up 3 home runs. He had a left scapula stress fracture. 4 career starts against Texas. They all came last year, obviously. That was his rookie season. I think the Rangers were probably the team he pitched best against. 3-1, 245. Rangers only hit 215 against him. When he's pitching well, he's got a really good sinker. Not an overpowering guy, although his velocity can get up into the low 90s. But the sinker is his best pitch. He'll also mix in some sliders along with it. When he keeps the ball down, he'll get a lot of ground balls, and he's capable of tuning up some really good games, which he did against the Rangers last year.
Yeah, he pretty much crushed the Rangers' playoff chances last September. 7 innings of 1-hit ball in Arlington.
12:38, and it's 59 degrees.
59 degrees at game time, and do not adjust your set. The A's are wearing black jerseys today. Tom Grieve, your thoughts?
I like the black, especially when the Rangers are wearing the gray. I would not like the black with a Ranger blue.
That would not be a good look.
No, I like the look of the black, though. That looks good.
I don't know. I think when the Raiders start wearing green, that's when the A's can start wearing black.
Oh, okay. You think they're stealing it?
A little bit.
At least it's not silver.
That would be a bad look. Silver against gray today. Andrews, who had a couple of bunt hits in that game yesterday, and yet another walk. He's got 18 of the team's 88 walks. And we have to keep reminding ourselves this is also the Rangers' youngest player. Patience is supposed to be one of those things that develops much later in a player's career. It's here right now for Elvis.
Oh, the one thing you don't have to develop with Elvis, he needs experience, but one thing you don't have to develop are the instincts he has for the game. You could see that last night when he stole third base. Knew he could steal third base, and he pretty much walked into third base without a throw. Beat out a bunt down the third base line. He beat out a bunt down the first base line. You see him up there now. He spoiled that sinker away.
So what a leadoff man is supposed to do. You're the first volunteer down the mine shaft. You are trying to gather information for everybody else. And here's a 7-pitch at bat already. Make it 8.
You probably will see a lot of foul balls pounded right into the ground against Cahill, because when he keeps the ball down and it sinks like that last pitch did, it's hard to get underneath the ball. And hitters will tend to hit on top of the ball, which results in ground balls, or a lot of those foul balls chopped right down into the ground.
We will see a 9-pitch at bat at least. And Ron Washington had a little sit down with him on April 15th after a sloppy error. And according to Wash, he hadn't made a mistake since then. Now, this is exactly what you want to see from the first batter of the ball game.
You know, last night, Josh, there was a ball hit up the middle where the bases loaded. Sweeney hit the ball, and Elvis reached for the ball. It went under his glove and went into center field for a base hit. It drove in a couple of runs, and Ron addressed this play after the game. Take a look at it. It's not a sharply hit ball at all. Elvis thought he could catch the ball. Ron's point to him was, if you can catch the ball, great. If not, you have to dive and block that ball from going through the infield to keep that second run from scoring. So that's a good lesson, too.
That might be the best at bat we have seen. I mean, and this road trip has already featured a lot of really nice at bats, but that's 5 foul balls to keep it alive. And on pitch number 11, a base hit to start the game.
Number 10, Michael Young.
And Elvis was just 1 of 9 last year against Trevor Cahill, but he just wore him out right there.
There's a sinker down. Don't try to pull it. Go the other way. Get on base. Be a potential to steal second base. Really, what it should have shown the right-hand hitters is exactly what you want to do against Cahill. Is try to go the other way with it. I think he tends to throw away more than he would inside anyway. Trying to pull it just plays into what he wants you to do.
Michael Young lines shot to short. Elvis quickly back to first in time, says Joe West. Another hard-hit baseball for Michael Young, but he stays tied with Rafael Palmeiro, second all-time on the Rangers hit list. He was up yesterday with a chance to tie the game and get that base hit number 1693, but Andrew Bailey got him out. The Rangers lost that game 7-6 yesterday. It was a real nice comeback effort. Down 5-0 after 2.
Cahill was a high school pitcher in California when he was the A's second-round draft choice. He was their first pick. They signed Esteban Loaiza, gave up their first pick. I bet you they're thrilled about that move. But they got Cahill in the second round, and they are happy with that.
Elvis draws a throw. Good move.
That was close. They had him leaning. Just didn't get the ball there quick enough.
Joe West on the call. And, Tom, I know you'll agree with me. The tribute that Joe West put together for the late Ernie Harwell that they showed up on the video board before the game was just so well done. I can't imagine another umpire going to all that work.
Be careful. Got him leaning twice. Yeah, the song that he sang that he wrote for Ernie Harwell, I can't even describe how good it was.
Joe's an accomplished country music singer as well as an umpire, and boy, apparently has quite the tender heart too. Very meaningful lyrics about the late Ernie Harwell. Elvis is going, and a good throw down there. Landon Powell has taken care of Elvis Andrus.
Yeah, and that was probably a time where maybe he didn't get a real good jump. I think Cahill was doing a great job of keeping him close to first base. He had a decent lead, not a good lead, not a great jump, and on that one he was an easy out at second base.
Elvis has now been caught 4 times already, but he's been successful 10. The Rangers do love to run.
That's one where the pitcher helped the catcher out. It's a great throw by Powell, but he was out because the pitcher made him stay close to first base and didn't allow him to get a good jump.
Hamilton fouls it away against Cahill. And you mentioned he gave up 3 homers in just 5 innings. That one start he had up in Toronto. The Rangers haven't had a multi-home run game now in close to 4 weeks. It's amazing for kind of firepower this team has.
Last year Cahill gave up 27 home runs in 170 plus innings, and a lot of them came to left-hand hitters. In the Toronto game, all 3 home runs were by right-hand hitters.
He's going to strike out Hamilton. He gets through the inning, survives that 11-pitch opening salvo from Elvis Andrus. Colby Lewis will be on the mound here in Oakland when we come back. Batters coming into this ball game today. He's going to have his shot against the Oakland A's, who come out like this. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Cliff Pennington and Derek Barton. Then the guy that had the 5 RBI game last night, Ryan Sweeney. Kevin Kuzminoff had 3 hits yesterday. You've got Chavez and Rosales, Patterson, Powell, and Davis. And boy, what can you say about Colby Lewis? Back from Japan, a remade man. He's been unbelievable.
He's thrown 32 2/3 innings in his 5 starts, 9 in his last start. He's held opponents to a 195 average. He's struck out 38 batters. The guys ahead of him in the strikeout race have all pitched. A couple of them pitched yesterday, so they have one more start than Colby does. Colby strikes out 5. He'll tie for the league lead in strikeouts. And he's had 3 10-strikeout games. Gets a lot of swings and misses, the 2nd highest percentage in the league. And he's been durable. He's thrown 109 pitches per start. That's the 3rd highest total for starting pitcher.
He begins with what else? Strike 1, according to Rob Drake. Colby's from Bakersfield, not too far from here. And his parents are down for the series. They're watching Sonny Boy pitch today. On a sunshiny afternoon here in Oakland. And Colby briefly was an Oakland Athletic in 2007, right before he kind of washed out and indeed had to go to Japan to resurrect things. The last Ranger with back-to-back 10-strikeout games was Aaron Seeley, and that was 11 years ago. I mentioned only one Ranger has ever gone more than 2 10-strikeout games in a row, and that was Big Tex. That was Nolan Ryan. Nolan actually did it 5 games in a row in 1989. Two-two delivery to Pennington. And again, it is foul ball theater, just like Andrews in the top of the 1st inning. On your forward leaderboard, 10 strikeout games. You got 4 for Colby Lewis, 3 of them this year. Millwood had 4. This is over the last 10 years or so. I mean, it's not a lot of starts for Colby to be number 1 on that list. Pennington chasing the high fastball has popped out of play. Well, again, Andrews set the tone. He had an 11-pitch at bat to get the day started. It's going to be at least 9 now for Pennington.
And Pennington likes to swing at the high fastball. It's probably a pitch, as he gets experience, he'd like to lay off of.
Roping that one into center field. And Colby Lewis, who had set down 21 straight in Seattle, already has lost his no-hitter here in Oakland today. Pretty nice AB right there for Pennington. Hamilton, Bourbon, and Murphy in the outfield. Young, Andrews, Kinsler, and Smoke around the horn. And Max Ramirez gets the start today and can't help but to look over his shoulder a bit. Jared Saltalamacchia is eligible to come back from the minors at pretty much any point. Although the Rangers say they don't have any firm plans to do that with Salty right away. They like what Max is doing, but obviously they have noticed what Salty's doing down there. He's got an 11-game hitting streak.
Yeah, Salty is not going to come back to the big leagues until the Rangers feel that he is ready, 100% healthy, to be the regular catcher. And so it's probably more Matt Trainer right now than Max Ramirez, who's kind of Matt's backup. Salty will not come back in any kind of a backup role. I'd be very surprised unless there was an injury and it was a necessity. They want to see him stay down there, put up some good numbers, be healthy, and when he does come back, be ready to step in and be the regular catcher.
Derek Barton, the batter, will take high from Colby Lewis. You've also got Chris Davis performing real well down there, hitting .385. Again, no timetable for CD to come back, but I think he's adopted that same philosophy. Just keep doing what's in his power to do, and just kind of see what happens from there. Runner going. That ball swatted into right center field. Pretty well struck. Borboni's back to the track. Can't get it. And it bounces out of here for an automatic double.
And ground rule double.
So this one now starting to look not like the Seattle start, but the one before that against Detroit, where the Tigers kind of teed off against Colby in the first, but then he settled down very soon after that.
Now your third position, right fielder, number 21, Ryan Sweeney.
Pitch up and right in the center of the strike zone. That looked like a couple of the pitches that Scott threw yesterday early in the ball game. It's a good pitch to hit. The A's aren't a strong offensive team, but when you throw them pitches like that, they become very good hitters, just like any big league hitter would.
Here's a 5 RBI guy from yesterday, Ryan Sweeney.
Sweeney barely got that ball out of the ballpark, right on top of the wall in left field. Then he came up with a bases loaded in the second inning, the ball we've already shown, with that chopper up the middle. He had 4 runs knocked in his first 2 times up.
In a game of inches, you're right. Barely out and then barely under the glove of Elvis.
Yep. And a little blooper to center field to drive in his 5th run.
Infield back. Colby's been spectacular with runners in scoring position early this year. Opponents are 3 for 26. Another foul off to the left by Sweeney. Colby's thrown 15 pitches now, still doesn't have an out. So notice has been served. It'll not be as easy today as it was against the Mariners. That 9-inning, 3-hit shutout. 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. Towards first, that'll get a run in. Justin Smoke to Colby Lewis. And the A's lead 1-0.
Yeah, it's good at bat if you're going to make it out. You got the run in and you move the man from second to third. So pulling the ball on the ground in that situation is pretty much exactly what you'd like to see happen.
Running in the 4th position, third baseman, number 5, Kevin Kuzmanoff.
Now with Kevin Kuzmanoff up, the Rangers will have the infield come in just a little bit. Remember, the A's got out quickly yesterday. A 2-0 lead in the first inning. On the ground is short, and Elvis thought about coming home and knows his play is to first. It is again 2-0 Oakland in the first inning. Kuzmanoff now 0 for his... Or excuse me, is 4 for his last 6 in this series.
When you play the infield in halfway like that, the only run you're going to prevent is on a hard hit ball. That ball, you know, was an average hit ball, but if you want a chance to throw the runner out at the plate, you have to play all the way in on the grass. And, you know, being halfway like that, it's a little safer. You're not going to let as many ground balls go through if you're back. But at the same time, you're not going to throw anybody out at the plate unless it's a slowly hit ball. Elvis wanted to come home, but based on where he was positioned, it was too far away.
So 2 hits and 2 ground balls, and the A's have that 2-0 advantage. Eric Chavez without a home run here in 2010. Offers at that one. In fact, last year, because he was hurt, didn't have a home run. So I'm talking about June of 2008 since the last home run for a one-time, big-time power hitter. Colby gets him to pop it up. Michael Young is in pursuit of it, as is Max Ramirez, but is back in the crowd. And a little better crowd here today for daytime baseball than we saw at night the last couple nights. The average crowd the last 2 nights was 9,000. Probably got closer to 20,000 here today. Just a gorgeous afternoon. Rangers are heading home when this game is done. They've got the Kansas City Royals coming in, and tag the next 17 games, 14 of them are in Arlington. It'd be a nice time for the Rangers to make a real nice run.
It'd be nice to be at home. Enjoy that. But it does mean sooner or later you're going to have to go on the road.
On the road is Chavez back to the dugout right here. The first strikeout for Colby Lewis today, but it comes after he's trailing 2-0. League Baseball and People magazine looking for individuals who make a difference in their communities. 30 everyday All-Stars will be honored at the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim. So if you'd like to nominate somebody, just go to peopleallstars.com. Big day yesterday for Vlad Guerrero. His 6th career Grand Slam. And 2 of them have been right here. Nailing that one, but foul. And the Grand Slam yesterday for Guerrero against the since demoted Vin Mazzaro. The other Grand Slam he had here a few years ago, and that's against the guy that's now his teammate, Rich Harden. Not exactly a long tenure for Vin Mazzaro as an Oakland A. As he comes up to make the one start, he walks the bases loaded, gives up the salami to Guerrero, and back he goes to Sacramento. Guerrero down on strikes.
Well, that's something you won't see very often, is Vlad taking a called strike.
In fact, that's the first time this year he has been called out on strikes. This is the 28th game of the year.
Number 5, Ian Kitzler.
Not quite a strike, fairly close. Close enough for Vlad, that's for sure. Yeah, I think Mazzaro last night was making a spot start. They haven't put Dukeshire on the disabled list. I think they're hoping he can make his next start. Now, if Mazzaro had pitched at Gem last night, it might have changed things. But I think they're hopeful the next time that start comes around that Dukeshire will be the guy that makes it.
The A's have been hit hard by injuries. They've got 8 players on the DL. A great columnist for the San Francisco paper, Ray Ratto, had a bit about that today, suggesting the A's should have one of those wooden signs above the home team dugout that reads 4 days without a workplace accident. That's how long it's been since they've had to use the DL, but before then it was kind of a constant thing. They've used the DL 10 times, and they've got 8 different players on it.
Yeah, I think the key players that are on it, they signed Coco Crisp, traded for Coco Crisp in the offseason. They'd love him to be healthy and play center field. Mark Ellis is their regular second baseman. They miss those 2 guys.
High fly ball from Kinsler, shallow right center field. Look at this thing falling in between 3. And Kinsler is the first Ranger base runner.
That's hard to believe that that ball could fall in. That was a high fly ball. I wouldn't, well, it's not average outfield, but as fast as Davis is in center field, he must have been playing way around in left center field and deep. But Sweeney wasn't shading at all that way. You can see Sweeney coming from straight away right field. No way the second baseman can go out that far.
It wasn't like anybody was lollygagging.
No, not really. They just were positioned to a point where they couldn't get to it.
And the tying man comes up, David Murphy. He'll take strike one.
Boy, that's one. When you hit that ball off the bat, your first reaction is, I'm 100% out. I'm upset that I popped it up.
That ball should be caught.
The other thing that, can be a factor here in the daytime is the sun. I don't think it was a factor on the ball that Ian hit, but it's a bright blue sky, and it'll be a very bright sunshine that can affect the fielders today.
Players talk about the California sky or the West Coast sky, and I think your first reaction is, well, wait a minute. I mean, it's the sky. I mean, it's the same in Rhode Island as it is here, but not to track fly balls. No cloud cover at all. Justin Smoke will take down and in. Smoke's got a homer in this series, hit it right-handed.
Talked about Cahill's sinker and slider. That was his changeup. That's the third pitch he'll throw. That was a pretty good changeup. 22 years old.
This is a young rotation. Got two 21-year-olds in it last year. That ball hammered to right field by Smoke. Towards the pole. It is. Foul, says Joe West. He was straddling the line and giving it a good look. And that was very close to being 2-2.
Well, he threw him another changeup, back-to-back changeups. I think he was not anticipating one the first time up. First time he saw it. Well, that's a high changeup, and that's going to result in a lot of home runs right there. It almost did there. He pulled it foul. The first changeup for a strike was a high strike. And then when he threw the second one, he was asking for trouble.
Kinsler goes. That ball belted into center. Back goes Davis. And he's got it.
And that's a good at-bat for Justin. Good swings. Hit the ball hard, 400 feet to dead center. Nothing to show for it, but continues to have some good at-bats.
Plenty of ticket specials make your trip to Rangers Ballpark affordable. Choose from great deals that include concessions, parking, and more. Maximize your value with the biggest ticket-only savings by going to TexasRangers.com/eSavers. The Rangers are home starting tomorrow. The ticket office open right now, 972 Rangers. Friday's got a fireworks spectacular set for after the game, and what a pitching matchup. C.J. Wilson against Zach Greinke. Rosales jumps on the first one he sees, has his first hit of this series. The former Cincinnati Red is driving one into left. Has 3 hits in 6 at-bats now for Oakland. Remember, they had 3 hits for the entire 9 innings that Colby was out there against Seattle. Speaking of Seattle, Tom, it looks like the Milton Bradley saga continues apace. Milton was returned to the cleanup spot in the order yesterday by Don Wakamatsu. After he took a couple of called third strikes with runners in scoring position, once with the bases loaded, Milton Bradley was removed not only from cleanup but from the game, and apparently that didn't sit real well with Milton.
Well, I'm sure it didn't sit too well with Don Wakamatsu when he took the pitch right down the middle for strike 3 either. In spite of what Milton thinks, the world is not against Milton. One thing for sure, the Mariners are not against Milton. They've gone out of their way to make that as friendly and supportive a place as he has ever had. If it doesn't work there, it won't work anywhere.
No, with Griffey and Sweeney and Wakamatsu and all those guys just trying to shower him with love. But yeah, Wakamatsu's comments after the game were very succinct. He just said it appeared that it was in the best interest of the ball club to remove Milton from the game. You read between the lines, just looked like he wasn't in it. Fouled away by Patterson. The Mariners also made 4 errors in that game, 3 of them by a great defender, Jack Wilson. I mean, you talk about things just being all over the place for that franchise right now. A lot of talk about them being the darlings of the AL West, but boy, it's just not going well right now. Jack Wilson hadn't made 2 errors in a game in 4 years. He makes 3 yesterday. Tampa Bay won that game, obviously, and the Rays are now 19-7. They're on their way here to Oakland to start a series next. And Tom, the other team with 19 wins now is Minnesota. They got a 5-4 win against the Tigers today. They're 19-9. That's without their closer, Joe Nathan. Up near first, and Smoke right at the line is going to grab it and go to the bag. 1 out. Got 3 games that are final already today, and they're all 5-4 finals. Twins over the Tigers. Miguel Cabrera hit 2 homers in that game, and so did Alex Avila. His first 2 in the major leagues, but those 4 solo home runs, that's all the Tigers scoring. Minnesota wins 5-4. As all of Detroit continues to mourn the passing of the legendary Ernie Harwell, who passed away yesterday at 92. Landon Powell, another ground ball, and again, Justin Smoke, he's been busy. There's 3 grounders to Smoke of the first 8 men to bat. Runner at third for Rajay Davis.
Batting guy, center fielder, number 11, Rajay Davis.
The other 5-4 games, the Blue Jays over the Indians today. It's a sweep of the Indians for Toronto. We're back up to 3 games over 500. Adam Lind, a home run, number 5. And the Reds beat the Mets 5-4 in 10. The Mets coming back down to earth a little bit, 15-13 now. That NL East is almost as jam-packed as the AL West. Everybody bunched together in that division. The Rangers are on top in the West. They're the only team over 500 at 14-13. The A's are next, a half a game back. The Angels and Mariners on losing streaks are each 2.5 back.
Well, Texas has picked up 4 games, at least 4 games on every team in the division in the last 10 games. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Rajay Davis strikes out to end the inning. That's 2 strikeouts so far for Colby. Working on back-to-back 10 strikeout games coming in. Max Ramirez will lead it off when we return to Oakland. Insurance, where 15 minutes can save you 15% on car insurance, and by AT&T. See what's new from AT&T. Visit att.com for details. That's The Rock. Alcatraz, where you really can't escape. Those who have tried it, it did not go well. It's a word to the wise if you ever end up incarcerated at Alcatraz. Max Ramirez will foul one away. Max had that base hit off of Doug Fister in his last start, and that sounds like kind of a random nugget to toss out there, but that was huge. Doug Fister was working on a perfect game at the time. Max had the base hit to bust that up. It was his first hit in the big league since 2008. Max played sparingly as a Ranger last year and did not have a hit. Boy, he was a big part of a fun summer a couple of years ago.
Way to lay off that's the sinker that tails in. You swing at that, you're pretty much going to hit it off the handle. If you can hold your bat back and take it, it's going to be inside.
He'll swing and launch that one foul.
That's a good swing at a 3-1 pitch.
Take you back to that previous pitch here.
Yeah, this is the one he tries to jam the right-hand hitters with. It starts out a little bit inside and ends up all the way inside. Max was able to check his swing. You can see the movement on that sinker. That's the thing that makes Cahill tough when he's on.
Another foul from Max.
Cahill had a strange season last year, and it was a season of streaks. If you break it down into 8 starts, 7 starts, 9 starts, and 8 starts, it's a 5.01 ERA, 2.44, 7.55, and 3.38. It's either the first and the third quarters of the season were not very good.
Max wasn't real sure of the count there.
Max didn't want to walk. He wanted to swing that bat.
He wants another hit.
Batting in the ninth position.
I think the Rangers faced him probably in the times when he was in the good streaks. Definitely the last 8 starts. They faced him in September, and they caught his best start probably.
Oh, and that's when the Rangers just flat out weren't hitting, too. What a miserable experience that was mid-September last year. hopes were so high. The Rangers had just come back from Cleveland. They had swept the Indians, scored 32 runs in 3 games. Then came the rain. Rangers had a game rained out against Seattle. They waited 4 hours to start another game against Seattle. Turned up being a doubleheader. And they just flat out stopped hitting. And Cahill was pitching during that stretch where the Rangers scored 1 run in 45 innings. And they went from hanging right in there in the wild card pursuit with Boston to just falling right away.
They got Bourbon to swing at that high fastball in yesterday's game. They're trying to get him to do the same thing here. Down in the count 0-2. You really have to battle right here.
Bourbon yesterday was certainly. Well, let's go back to last night first.
Well, this is the 9th inning. You got a man on second now and nobody out. And Bourbon swings and pops up to left field. And Ron Washington addressed that before the ball game.
This one right near the bag. That's going to end up being a double play. And yeah, I'm sorry, Ted, go ahead, because that was a huge play in the game last night.
Well, what Ron said was he wanted to give him a chance to swing at the first pitch, and if he was successful, great. If not, then he would bunt. And today he said, looking back on it, he probably would have done it differently, because that's putting a lot of pressure on a young hitter who's not swinging the bat very well right now to pull the ball against one of the best young closers in the American League, a guy who's throwing 95 miles an hour. His chances of being successful pulling the ball on the ground to the right side weren't very good. He had a much better chance of doing that.
Boy, look at this. Elvis Andrus, a 3rd bunt hit in his last 5 at-bats going back to yesterday. And he is serving notice to the rest of the league that he can absolutely do that anytime he wants to.
Well, if you bunt it like that, you can. He's laid down 3 bunts in the last 2 days, and all 3 bunts have been just about perfect.
Well, and it comes as we're talking about the bunt that wasn't yesterday. And I'm with you, Tag, and I guess with Ron Washington, too, that, you know, Andrew Bailey, 20 straight scoreless innings going back to last year, a guy that holds lefties to about a 135 batting average. Yeah, the odds of Julio Bourbon coming through with that swing were not great. The odds are better just putting it in play with a bunt.
Yeah, and he's not looking for, well, you'd love to have a base hit. He's not necessarily looking for a base hit. He wanted the runner to be moved to third base, and to do that, you have to pull the ball on the ground. So his chances of pulling the ball weren't that good. And I think if Ron could go back and have that same play develop again, he would have had Julio bunt the ball. You know, managers, and Ron said this, they sometimes play what they feel in their gut. And he just felt with the first baseman holding the run, moved up in case of the bunt, that he had a good chance if he hit it on the ground to not only move the runner but score him with a base hit. He played that hunch and just didn't work out well.
I know it's a lot to process for young Julio Bourbon, but if the whole idea is that he's looking for a ball to yank, you know, if there's something that he can hit to right field, great. Even though that pitch might have been a strike on the outside corner, if he didn't swing, knowing that there's no way he pulls it, should he have just taken a strike?
Well, I think he should have. You know, he tried on the first pitch. It was a first pitch, I believe, was a ball when Gentry stole second base. And if the most important thing is to pull the ball, if you don't get a pitch that you're entirely comfortable with pulling, then yeah, you probably should take the ball. But that's something that comes with experience. Believe me, it's not easy to go up there and move the runner to third base by hitting the ball to the right side of the infield. That's something that's hard. And I think what Ron is saying is it was asking too much of a young player as talented as Julio is at this stage of his career to be successful. And you know, manager will say my most important job is putting my players in a position to be successful. And in that particular case, I've got a young player who's probably not quite as experienced enough to succeed in that situation. But you could put Tony Gwynn up in that situation or George Brett with Andrew Bailey on the mound, and they might not be able to do it either. It's not something that's automatic or easier said than done. But the ultimate decision in that play has to be what's the best way to get the guy to third base for Elvis and Michael.
Elvis on the move, and it's ball 4 to Michael Young. Has 2 walks and the bunt single in the inning, and the only 2 outs on the double play ball. Here's Josh Hamilton coming up.
Now, Josh struck out the first time up on fastballs. It didn't look like he saw the ball very well.
Josh has had trouble in day games here in Oakland, and he acknowledges that. He had a 4 strikeout game here last year. He had a 3 strikeout game here the year before that.
I'm not sure if that's what it is or not, but Josh has been swinging the bat really well, and the pitches he missed are pitches he normally hits. So let's see if it's an adjustment, and whether Cahill feels maybe a little sense of confidence that he can throw another fastball by him and see if Josh can make him pay for it.
2 on, 2 out. That one's a strike, and Josh is coming on, hitting .345 the last 2 weeks. And you see the return of the power game too.
Josh had a couple of walks and scored a run, and had a base hit to knock in a run to get the Rangers within 1 in the 7th inning. A real nice at bat where he stroked a single into left field. And he came back with a nice changeup.
Cahill, not a classic strikeout pitcher, but he does have a couple already today, including a called 3rd strike of Vlad Guerrero. That's tough to accomplish. And he's got Josh again. There's something about the daytime here in Oakland that doesn't quite agree with Hamilton. 2-0 A's, middle 3. Diet Dr. Pepper can be redeemed at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, or by entering Dr. Pepper as a coupon code at TexasRangers.com. You can purchase half-price tickets to many seating areas. Rangers and Royals tomorrow night, 7:05. Matt Harrison on the mound. And C.J. Wilson Friday against Zach Greinke, who somewhat shockingly is winless for the Kansas City Royals this year. That ball stroked foul by Pennington at a play. Pennington had a nice 9-pitch at bat, getting the A's started in that first inning.
No, Pennington did. He had a good at bat. He got on, and that was a 2-run inning. The A's got men at 2nd and 3rd, no outs, and 2 ground balls, 1 to the right side and then 1 with the infield halfway, right at Elvis Andrus, and both ground balls scored a run.
Inside corner to Pennington this time. There's that big hack that we were talking about earlier from Pennington. He's a leadoff hitter. Little shortstop, but he's got 16 runs batted in, and he swings like he means it.
Well, I think Pennington's a good little player. If after a few games there'd be one thing that you would say he needs to work on, and that's lay off this high fastball. He can drive the ball if it's down, but that's the kind of ball that even if he makes contact with it, it's probably going to result in a lazy fly ball. And the big leagues are tough.
Derek Barton is going to blast away here.
Until he shows that he can lay off that pitch, he's going to keep seeing it, especially with 2 strikes.
Barton, who doubled to the warning track in the first inning, flies to the warning track here in the third. And Barton's not a guy that's really known for any kind of pop. Neither is this next guy, but boy, Ryan Sweeney yesterday had just enough for one.
That's exactly what it was, just enough.
That's one of the funny things about this game. You can hit one 600 feet, or if you place it right, 330 feet, and it counts exactly the same.
Or you could hit one 400 feet and have it caught in dead center field and not have anything to show for it. Well, even if that ball didn't go out of the park, it would have hit off the top of the wall and been an extra base hit anyway.
On the ground to first, and again, Justin Smoke. 4 of those to him today, and a much better third inning for Colby Lewis. He has now set down 6 straight. It stays 2-zip Athletics. Two 2-0 A's as we head to the 4th inning, and Vlad Guerrero about to lead off. Here's your AT&T trivia question for today. Talking balks today. One of the most confusing things about baseball is the balk call. Who's got the Major League record for most in one season? He just might have played for both of these teams at some point, the Rangers and the A's.
There was one year where they first started calling the balk if you didn't come to a full stop. I'm not sure exactly when that was. My guess is that's probably the year it happened.
Yeah, 1988, and it spun out of the World Series from the October before. Whitey Herzog kept complaining about Bert Blyleven not coming to a discernible stop. Whitey claimed there were 19 balks that should have been called against Bert Blyleven and the Twins in that World Series.
He was right, because Bert, that's how Bert, one way he held runners is as he came to a stretch, he didn't come to a complete stop, and the runners didn't know when to go. That's one of the ways he held the runner. So,
yeah, they changed Rule 8.01b, and the phrase complete stop was switched to the more confusing single, complete, and discernible stop with both feet on the ground. And it took everybody forever to just kind of figure that all out.
Well, yeah, because Bert wasn't the only one that was doing that. A lot of pitchers were doing it. Well, that ball went a long way for
it did. Patterson ran right in front of that smiling yellow car to go put it away.
Because in reality, if your hands go up and then come down and go back, start up, go down, and come back, you had to have stopped to change direction. That's what the pitchers would say. I did stop, And that's what most pitchers did. But then when they said it had to be the stop you just described, it was you have to put your hands have to go down and stay there slightly, and that was very difficult for a lot of pitchers to change and do, and especially in spring training. They were calling 5 or 6 balks every game.
Well, and if you look back, 11 of the top 13 in terms of most balks by one guy, that was all 1988.
Well, they made their point, didn't they?
Apparently. Kinsler grounds out. But it did lead to a lot of frustration. And, you know, I mean, normally you'd see a balk, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. And that first week of the regular season, we were seeing 4 or 5 balks a game.
Well, that type of a balk where you don't come to a complete stop is one of the easiest balks to see. Some of them are much more subtle. For instance, when a right-handed pitcher goes to pick off a runner at first base and slightly bends his back knee, or when a left-handed pitcher, his right leg goes slightly behind his left leg. Those are a little bit tougher to see, especially for a fan.
Murphy hits another one pretty well, but again it's caught, and the Rangers continue to trail 2-0. We'll come back and answer that trivia question for you in just a moment. And Colby Lewis back on the mound as well. That balk-related trivia question brought to you by AT&T. The Major League record for most balks in a season had to be from that 88 season. Dave Stewart, and he had 11 of them by this date, believe it or not. And then he fell off to only 5 the rest of the way when I think everybody just had enough of calling balks all the time. The Ranger that struggled with that, if you're watching Guzzi, hi there, Jose Guzman had 12 of them called on him that year. Kuzmanov will pop one up.
2 good curveballs. Missed one and popped one up.
But we're seeing a theme develop with Colby Lewis here. He's had a few games now where the first couple innings have been a couple of rocky moments, and then at some point it just clicks into gear. And the good news is, so far, once it does click into gear, it just stays there. Here's 7 straight retired by Colby. Last time it was 21 straight retired by Colby. And in that game against Detroit, after 10 of the first 12 had reached, it was 21 out of the next 22. Getting a lot of first pitch strikes in there, just like Rich Harden the other day. And quickly ahead of Chavez. That's it. 4 strikeouts for Colby. And he's 1 away from the league lead now.
One thing Colby does with a good assortment of breaking balls, he throws 2 types of sliders. One looks a little bit like a curveball and goes down. One goes sideways from right to left. And then he's got a regular curveball. Is they take his fastball a lot because they're surprised when he throws it. In his case, a lot of times his off-speed pitches set up his fastball.
Another first pitch strike.
That's his slider. He's got a really good assortment of off-speed pitches. They break sharply. He usually locates them pretty well. Then he throws a curveball, takes a little something off it. Rosales jumped on a fastball his first time up. First pitch. Belt high and out over the plate. Not seeing it this time up, though. At least not on the first 2 pitches.
13 out of 15 batters, we were told, have seen a first pitch strike from the Cobra. One-two to Rosales. Struck him out. And that's 5 for Colby Lewis.
Rosales jumps up in the air and does a 180 every time he's called out on strikes. It's happened 3 times in this series. He didn't think that was a strike, but it looked like a good pitch.
But he did have good vertical.
He did. He looked good. Good form.
Brought to you by your Texas Chevy dealers, proud sponsor of Texas baseball. Here in the East Bay today, Rangers finishing up a 6-game road trip. So far, they are 4-1. They haven't had a 5-1 road trip, believe it or not, Tex, since 1999.
Wow.
They got a shot today. They got a rally. Colby Lewis seems like he has righted the ship. This might be keeping it at 2 for the A's for a little while. 9 straight retired by Colby. He is now tied for the American League lead in strikeouts. After a 24-pitch first inning, during which the 2 Oakland runs scored, 11 pitches in the second, 9 in the third, 9 in the fourth. Outside to Smoke. Justin, the Rangers' first-round pick in 2008 out of the University of South Carolina.
Oh, boy, that ball came back. That's a good pitch right there. Kevin Millwood used to throw that pitch. John Burkett, a lot of guys throw it, but the sinker that starts inside, watch the glove, and then comes back and catches the inside part of the plate. See him move his glove toward the plate. The hitter assumes that pitch is going to stay inside, and the movement brings it back. A lot of times you pretty much give up on the pitch. You assume it's a ball, and you're kind of surprised when the umpire calls it a strike.
Max Ramirez will walk in the third. Remember, Max was supposed to be in Boston this year. Was all but traded for Mike Lowell. That deal fell apart when Lowell had the more serious hand injury than the Rangers first thought. Already, Max has been traded twice for former All-Stars. First time from Atlanta to Cleveland for Bob Wickman, and from Cleveland to the Rangers for Kenny Lofton. This time, Max knows right away it's ball 4. He hesitated on the last one. Max being with his third organization, that's hardly an indictment of his talent. You look at guys like Adrian Gonzalez. Jason Bay has moved 5 times now. The first 3 before he'd really truly become Jason Bay. It happens sometimes. Guys get spun around a little bit. Borbone, Ranger property all the way, takes the strike. Technically, Julio's not a rookie, but as you said earlier, Tom, he's a young player who's being asked to do a lot. They're trying to lessen his load a bit now as they've dropped him down to 9 in the batting order for the last couple of weeks. But still, that batting average has got to come up from 185, and he's still only walked once. Going to pop that one towards the third base foul ground for Kuzmanov. He can't find it.
Didn't see it. You know, we said earlier in the game that sun can play a factor, and Kuzmanov definitely couldn't see that ball. Played a factor right there. Generally, I think it's the left side of the infield, the left fielder, and the center fielder. I don't think it's quite as tough on the right fielder. To take advantage of that non-catch and get a base hit right here. Julio's got it's kind of the same thing as Pennington. You have to lay off that high fastball. That's what he's going to keep throwing until he shows he can lay off it.
Took that one. It's 1-2.
I'd be surprised to see another one right here. Until you can either get on top and drive that pitch or take it, they're going to keep throwing it there because there's not much danger. If you do hit it, it's going to be a pop-up to left field.
Everything was up until that last one. In the right field, base hit for Julio. From 0-2 to 2-2, and then the base hit to bring up Andrews.
No, that was better. No balls, 2 strikes. He did lay off the high fastball and then got one he could handle. Did a nice job with it.
Now batting, number 1, Elvis Andrews.
This is right around when it started coming apart for Trevor Cahill and that other start he made this year in the big leagues. The 5th inning against Toronto. Remember, he gave up 3 home runs total in that game. He has not given up one yet, not given up a run yet. Got to face a man with a 6-game hitting streak. Elvis is 2 for 2 this afternoon. Way high. And we should note that the Oakland bullpen got a real workout yesterday. Vin Mazzaro lasted only 3 innings officially, so the A's needed to stretch out their bullpen for 6.
They used a lot of guys. No one guy really was overextended, so a lot of innings, a lot of pitchers. The one thing that set up well for the Rangers, if they could have tied the game in the 9th inning, the Rangers had only used Chris Ray. They had their whole bullpen essentially, whichever ones were available for last night's game. Oakland, on the other hand, had Chad Godin, who had pitched a couple of days ago, I think multiple innings, and Ross was their only other guy. And they wouldn't have been able to use Bailey another inning because he would have already pitched an inning in the 3rd. So the bullpen situation set up well for the Rangers. Sometimes a manager doesn't like to play on the road for a tie. But in that particular case, it might have made sense to play for a tie. And it did, because the Ranger bullpen was actually in better shape than the A's.
Elvis could not hold up right there. It's 1-1.
Elvis was dead set on getting a fastball right there, and Cahill crossed him up with a slider.
Now the fastball thrown by him. Slider to set it up. The Rangers out hitting the A's 4-3, but trailing 2-0. Up, then down, then up.
Well, Bourbon was behind 0-2 and came back and got a hit.
Now it's 2-2 to Elvis. Michael Young on deck.
It would have been nice if that kick by Powell moved men to second and third with nobody out. With one out, excuse me.
And Cahill continues to yo-yo back and forth between the high pitch and the low pitch, then high, then low. This one's down the middle, and it's hit hard but right to second base. 4-6-3 DP. You kind of split the difference with that one. And the Rangers still getting shut out by Trevor Cahill. And is set to come back home. There's a game tomorrow and a game Friday. Friday night, $10 tickets, $5 parking to see the Rangers take on the Royals, presented by 105.3 The Fan. The game is followed by a Rat Pack music-themed post-game fireworks show. That's courtesy of Windmill Suites. If you go to TexasRangers.com, enter fireworks as the coupon code. You can get set up that way to come see Greinke against Wilson Friday night. Eric Patterson, the latest to swing and miss against Colby Lewis. And Colby is just kind of locked into a groove right now. 9 up, 9 down since a leadoff single by Rosales in the second. The A's were one of the teams interested in bringing Colby Lewis back from Japan. That was pretty much the Rangers' chief competition, along with maybe Minnesota, to grab him and get going for 2010. The Rangers were the team that were able to promise not just the 2-year contract, but the chance to get in that starting rotation right here, right now. And Colby has paid the Rangers back by starting out 3-0. That ball hit high and well to right field. David Murphy back at the wall. This ball's gone.
I can't believe he hit that ball out of the ballpark. Guy weighs about 120 pounds, and he golfed the curveball right off the ground and hit it off over the right field wall. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I don't know how he did it.
Eric Patterson ends up with his second home run of the year. And Colby had that kind of shell-shocked look, too. Like, really?
There's been some balls hit halfway decent today that didn't go out of the ballpark. And he just golfed that thing out of here. It wasn't even close to being a strike. I cannot explain that. He must be a lot stronger than he looks. I thought he popped it up to right field when he swung at it.
I was a little surprised to see Murphy going back at the speed he was going back. I'm with you. But it's now 3-0 A's. Looking to regroup here. Powell started out 2-0. And all of a sudden, that groove is gone for Colby. The home run and 3 straight balls. From out of nowhere, this is the bottom third of the order. Mike Maddox will hustle out there to make sure this doesn't get away from Colby. Tom, we talked about the Rangers about to head for home when this game is done. The progressive upcoming schedule of Ranger games. The blue games are home games, and there's a lot of blue on your TV screen right now. 14 of the next 17 Ranger games are home games. The Angels come in on the 17th and 18th. Those are the Cubs coming in Friday, Saturday, and that Sunday. 972 Rangers to get your tickets. The Cubs series is starting to sell at a pretty good clip.
Now batting, center fielder, number 11, Rajay Davis.
Davis swings at a breaking ball, pops it up. Ian Kinsler making sure he doesn't lose it in the sun. There's the first out of the 5th inning. Now the Rangers almost rallied to a win yesterday. They're going to have to rally today. Yesterday was only the 3rd game all year the Rangers never had the lead. And boy, they came close to recapturing, or I guess gaining a lead yesterday after spotting Oakland 5 runs early. Strike to Pennington. Thought it was pretty remarkable yesterday, Tag, that Scott Feldman was able to give the Rangers 7 innings after all was said and done. And giving up the 7 runs through 4, and he ended up becoming the first Ranger in 9 years to give up 7 runs but also go 7 innings.
He threw almost the same number of pitches in his last 5 innings as he did in his first 2 innings. There's that high fastball that Pennington will offer at.
And you said earlier, best he can do is just pop that one up.
Yeah, it's really going to be a pitch, unless you're one of the middle of the order guys, that you're not going to hit a home run with. And it's, believe me, easier said than done from up here. Oh, that's a ball, don't swing at it. It's entirely different when you're down there trying to battle a pitcher. But as Pennington's looking for ways as he gains experience to make himself better, that would be one way to lay off that pitch. Good athlete, smart player, should be able to do that as time goes on.
The former Aggie, Cliff Pennington.
Ooh, see, laid off that one. He wanted to swing.
Yeah,
it, though.
That was close. And the A's, meantime, getting a fine pitching performance today from Cahill. Towering pop-up into foul ground. Kinsler's got a long run. He's going to try to get there. It keeps going, and he has made the catch. Smoke had no shot. He really didn't know where it was. Kinsler just made a dead run after it, and he got there. 2 straight putouts for Ian on balls in the air. The Home Depot presenting doing more on defense. Check Ian coming all the way over. Now I'll bring up Derek Barton, who's hit the ball deep a couple times in this game. Double pass Bourbon in the first inning, then he flied to the track and right in the third. The A's have their runs on 2 groundouts and a homer. Rangers, meantime, they've got 4 hits, but they've hit into 2 double plays. When the A's needed an effort like this from Trevor Cahill, their starters the last several games not good at all. They started this year with the best ERA in baseball at a 2.9 ERA through 20 games. But their ERA has been about 8 since then. There is action in the Oakland bullpen, by the way. The pitch count for Cahill's in the mid-80s. There's a strike to Barton. It looks like Tyson Ross getting up down there. A rookie righty out of Cal. Another ball hit well, but this one's well fouled. Barton's had some good swings today. If the A's do win this game, they'll hopscotch past the Rangers back into first place. And if the Rangers can rally, they'll be up a game and a half heading back home. Upstairs, 3-2. Barton leads the league in walks. He's run the count full here with Colby. The Rangers, by the way, in the 6th will have 2, 3, 4 in the order coming up. Runner goes. That is ball 4.
That's a pitch that I bet you 60% of the left-hand hitters will swing at that pitch. A hard breaking ball down and in. Barton started to swing, but really never came close to going through the strike zone. That's a pitch that Kobe will get a lot of strikeouts on, but Barton has an exceptional eye at the plate. Hitters like Barton, they seem to recognize the type of pitch and where it's going to be quicker than other hitters, and they're able to lay off it. Other hitters commit to the swing sooner and can't stop their swing when they realize it's a bad pitch. Barton's exceptional with that.
Barton's been a prospect for a while. Originally with the Cardinals. Came over in that Mark Mulder deal. Of course, the A's, the whole Moneyball book, talked all about the commitment to finding players that could get on base, that had the keen eye. That book is now going to be a movie with Brad Pitt playing the role of General Manager Billy Beane.
I thought that got scuttled.
Nope, it's unscuttled now.
It's back on?
It's returned from the scuttling.
All right.
Paul D. Podesta, who was then the assistant GM, is going to be played by Jonah Hill. And they look nothing alike. And Billy Beane is flattered to hear that Brad Pitt is playing him, but anyway, that's all the cast list I have right now. Movies due out next year. That ball outside, 2-2. That book sure made the Oakland A's famous.
Hasn't won them a whole lot.
No, but made for a good book.
A lot of the guys that came out of that draft class didn't do a whole lot.
Well, they're probably not going to put that in the movie, though. Never let facts get in the way of a good story. The best-selling book, put it out there, you know, it's all about drafting college players, not high school players, preaching on base percentage. But as you suggested, Tom, that philosophy, I mean, it was, you know, it got him some wins, obviously, but it did not translate to a World Series title. The attention of walks and homers back then. That ball blasted towards center field. Ryan Sweeney muscling up in this series. Had a home run yesterday. Came close right there. 3-0 A's at the end of 5. You buy a Sonic, the jackpot is worth $2,600 and dinner for two at Sonic. The Rangers are playing for Barbara Taggart from Bedford. The Ranger hits a grand slam this inning. Mrs. Taggart wins $25,000. You can register at any North Texas Sonic restaurant. Remember Taggart? You know who that was from Blazing Saddles? Tag?
I saw that a long time ago, but I can't distinguish the character.
Taggart was the assistant to Harvey Korman's Hedley Lamar in Blazing Saddles, played by Slim Pickens. Taggart?
See, unlike you, I've only seen that once.
What?
That was enough for me.
I think I'm up to 40. Michael Young will take on the inside corner, strike one. I know you only saw Glengarry Glen Ross once. That was plenty for you.
I saw half of Glengarry Glen Ross.
You just saw the Glengarry.
I didn't see that whole movie. Please don't accuse me of watching all of that.
You didn't stay for the Glen Ross part. Michael Young, if he's safe, and we'll see how this is scored. If that's a hit, then he is number 2 on the all-time Ranger list.
Well, let's check it out.
E5.
E5.
Nah, he's got to wait. But he is on. The Rangers needing base runners, and Michael Young on the throw from Kuzminoff that goes off the line. He is safe.
I know one thing. If that's hit in New York by one of the Yankee hitters, that's a base hit. Guarantee you. A-Rod hits that ball. Jeter hits that ball. In Yankee Stadium, that's a hit.
Tag Johnson is right. That's outside of Hamilton.
Well, let's make a rally out of it.
Now, Hamilton's ready to start hitting. Obviously, he's 0 for 2 with a couple of punch-outs today. One big swing, the Rangers get right back in it. We haven't had a winner yet this year on the Sonic Slam inning. That's why the jackpot is up to $2,600 today. We got Hamilton and Guerrero and Kinsler coming up. Trevor Cahill working on the shutout. Big hop up over the shoulder of Barton. What a break for the Rangers. First and third and nobody out. If that ball doesn't skip past Barton, it might be a double play.
It had possibilities until it got close to him, then almost took his head off. The way that ball bounced, it was hit a little harder than it looked like coming off the bat. This next bounce right here just shoots right. Must have hit a little, some kind of indentation in the infield to take a bounce like that.
Boy, and on that hop, that's going to be the last pitch that Cahill throws. Almost beheading Derek Barton. Cahill leaves the mound with a shutout intact, but now the bullpen has got to keep it going, and it's going to be first and third. Vlad Guerrero batting when we come back to Oakland, California.
Mango only pawn in game of life.
Back to yesterday, the Coors Light pulled a hard blast. First pitch he saw with guys on base. This is from Vin Mazzaro, and there it goes. Grand slam. Now you come to live action this afternoon, and it's 2 on instead of 3 on. And Tyson Ross is summoned to face Big Bad Vlad, who's going to swing right away. Base hit in the left. The Rangers are on the board. Still nobody out. The error to open the inning. And we'll see if the Rangers can just kick the door all the way down now.
You just had the feeling, like last night in a key situation, Vlad's going to be swinging at the first thing close. Wasn't a great pitch, but he still drove it past Kuzminoff on the ground for an RBI.
The Verizon Wireless called to the bullpen Tyson Ross. We've seen him once in this series. And Kuzminoff with a dive, but he couldn't get there. And a chance for Kinsler, who is 1 for 2. Ross was a very unlikely candidate to have made this team at all out of spring training. The initial talk was of him going to Double-A. That was a tough inning for Trevor Cahill. An error, then the bad hop single. You always got to hope that Ross can get him through.
When you hear 22-year-old Trevor Cahill, and then you see him with his hat off, he definitely does look like he's 22 or 19 maybe.
Kinsler fights one foul back in the crowd of 15,403.
He, in his career, a .315 hitter with men in scoring position. Guy you like to have up there in this situation.
On the ground, second base, though, here. The Rangers have hit into their third double play of the afternoon. They do get Hamilton on to third, but boy, that's too bad. We'll see if Murphy can save the inning.
Now batting, number 7.
That's a good pitch.
David Murphy.
Good pitcher's pitch, down and away. It's not a strike. Ian reaches for it. Hits it pretty hard, really, for that kind of a swing. Right straight at Rosales. Couldn't have a better ball for a double play.
David Murphy getting playing time with Nelson Cruz on the DL. Nelly's still on target for a May 12th return, a week from today. Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way.
Thank you.
Didn't get you anything, but
it's okay. I wasn't looking for anything, really. Thanks for the thought.
No problem.
Ross came into the game, I think, in the first game with a couple of men on and nobody out. Got 3 outs. Kept the Rangers from really adding to that lead. I think they had a 3-0 lead at the time. Then they'd get another run on Justin Smoke's home run.
He got Guerrero and Kinsler and Garco in that order.
Same spot of the order. It won't be a 1-2-3 inning for him.
Picked by Powell on a pitch in the dirt. It's an unearned run against the ledger of Cahill. Murphy just extending there, tipping that fastball away to hang around at 2-2 with runner at third, 2 out. It's like he took that right out of the catcher's glove. Murphy near first, and Barton's got this one. Got a race to the bag, wins that race. He saved a run. Tough break for David Murphy. The Rangers do get one. It is 3-1. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Video summary. The Rangers in the first inning Watch this happen. A couple of ground balls to score 2 runs. It's a tough way to start the day for Colby Lewis. 2-0 Oakland. Then it became 3-0 on this golf shot by Eric Patterson. Rangers back with 1 run in the top of the 6th. Vlad Guerrero took one off the ground right there. And that's all you're scoring right now, sports fans. 3-1 A's over the Rangers. The Rangers coming back to play tomorrow night at the ballpark. Hope you can come on out and join us. The Kansas City Royals coming to town. Colby Lewis, who last pitched for those Kansas City Royals in the big leagues before going off to Japan. Rangers trying to rally to maybe get him to 4-0. That ball nailed in the left. Kuzmanov is hit safely in 10 of 11. Made the error to start the top of the 6th. Now gets a base hit to begin the bottom of the 6th.
Designated hitter, number 3, Eric Chavez.
Now, Eric Chavez playing today has tied Reggie Jackson for 4th all-time on the number of games played list for these A's. Grounder towards second. Kinsler, the backhand. Look at that to Andrews. Double play. A prettier one you will not see. 4-6-3 DP.
That's not one, if you're a little leaguer, that I'd try the next time you're in a double play situation. But if you're a big leaguer and you practice that kind of thing and you have great hands and a lot of athletic ability, it sure is pretty to watch. And you have to just flip that with your glove facing backwards. It's not like you're shoveling it to the shortstop. You have to flip it backwards to get it there. And it was a perfect flip.
And just like that, 2 out. And brings up Rosales. The base hit, also a strikeout for Rosales today. He's actually been called out on strikes 3 times in the 3 games in this series. Jaguar extraordinary performance. Check out the dance moves here after the called 3rd strikes. Who called this, Tom?
Oh.
It's a jump to the left.
Turn the other way. Oh, same way.
Oh. And a step to the right.
There's the other way.
If you get him called out on strikes, it's dance fever with Adam Rosales.
If he's taking.
Right. We haven't seen a swinging strikeout yet. Oh, maybe he, like gets down and break dances or something, like spins on his head. I'm almost rooting for that now. 2-2. Let's see if Colby can get him. He's already struck out 5 in this game.
He needs a strikeout to take the strikeout lead in the American League. He's tied right now, I think.
Tied with James Shields of Tampa Bay. All right, make him dance, Colby. Not yet. Fouled off the mask of Max Ramirez. Now the pitch count for Colby's okay, 92. We expect to see him in the 7th inning. Roped and Michael Young has got it. Rangers flashing leather, but Justin Smoke can't make the pick. It gets all the way by. And look at Rosales' run. He's going to go to 3rd. With all this foul territory here, that's a problem if you don't pick it at first. Man, oh man, after a great play by Michael Young, and Justin continues to have some issues making that pick.
Well, you get accustomed to watching Chris Davis, who is probably one of the best at making this play. and saving errors for the infield. Not a simple play. And it takes a lot of practice and a lot of hard work to develop the ability to catch that ball. That's the hard part of the play right there. Michael stands up, and then the throw is a little low. And Justin couldn't quite pick it.
Boy, and that is a rare 3-base throwing error. Well, you're right. Michael made the difficult play look easy, and then that easy throw in the dirt. Patterson, who had the home run last inning. We'll see how quickly Colby Lewis can navigate away from what's happened here. Final from New York today. The Yankees 7, the Orioles 5. Andy Pettitte goes to 4-0. Well, the Yankees now 19-8. Baltimore drops to 7-21. Ooh, a little bit outside, 2-2.
Good call by the home plate umpire, Rob Drake, today. Same pitch.
Yep, outside again. Colby trying to finish off Patterson, maybe take the AL strikeout lead here too. Nope, it's a walk instead. Mike Maddox will head on out to talk to Colby. And this is where you ponder getting the bullpen up. A couple other finals. The Blue Jays over the Indians today 5-4, rallying with 3 in the 9th. Travis Hafner did have a home run for Cleveland, but Toronto sweeps the Tribe. Minnesota over the Tigers 5-4. Tonight the Angels at the Red Sox, and the Angels having lost 5 straight now, 12-16. The Red Sox meantime 13-14, and already 6.5 behind Tampa Bay. The Rays look like a very complete baseball team.
Well, they've got one of the best hitting teams. They've got speed. They've got excellent starting pitching. And they've got an excellent farm system. They've got a good thing going right now. Took them a while to get there, but a lot of those drafts where they had the top 2 or 3 picks in the draft starting to pay off for them now. Guys like Upton, Crawford, Longoria, Neiman, kids that were high #1 draft choices. Just to name a few.
Oh, and they've supplemented well. They're still not drawing, which is a shame.
That's amazing.
They got
their drawing.
They got one of the most exciting teams, top to bottom, in baseball.
Good young talent.
Lewis brings the 1-1. And missing into Powell. 2-1 the count. Dustin Nippert is the man warming up for the Rangers in the bullpen. Got it in there, 2-2. And again, not quite the effort that Colby had in Seattle, of course. 9 innings of 3-hit baseball. But he's persevering today. 2 groundouts to score runs in the first. A home run by the light-hitting Eric Patterson in the 5th, and that's been it. Runner going from first, and that one is down and in. No throw from Max Ramirez. Great jump. And the steal for Patterson.
Yeah, nothing you could do on that one. That was a pitch that was not impossible, but very difficult to throw on a curveball way down low.
Second steal this year for Patterson. He's also gotten his second home run today. There you go. The strikeout of Landon Powell, and Colby Lewis takes over the AL strikeout lead with that. Rangers trailing 3-1. By the Ford F-150. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. Also go as a quality start for Colby Lewis. 6 innings and 3 runs allowed. But the Rangers right now trailing here by the East Bay. Justin Smoke, who could have been an Oakland A, will lead things off against Tyson Ross. Oakland's draft in 2005, Mr. Grieve, included Cliff Pennington and Travis Buck. Flower Mounds, Craig Italiano. None of those guys have totally broken through completely yet. Imagine the A's disappointment that they failed to sign their 16th round pick that June. You're looking at him, Justin Smoke. One of the stories that you hear about that 2005 draft is that the A's were going to take him with the 36th overall pick. They were prepared to offer him a signing bonus of $50,000, not the even million that Smoke wanted to walk away from his commitment to South Carolina.
Well, he came out very well. Got 3 years of an excellent college education, great experience of 3 years of college, and more money when he signed anyway.
Smoke will rip one into right field. That is a base hit into the corner. And the A's will watch the one that got away hit into second base. He is there with a double.
Good swings, too. First time up, he launched one way down the right field line, just foul. Then drove the ball deep to center field for an out. He did strike out in the 5th inning, but had some good swings. All over this pitch. He gets a good slider to hit right down the middle of the plate and rips it into right field.
Safely inside the chalk line, and now Max Ramirez will have his opportunity. He's walked twice today. And that's something that's good to report regarding Max Ramirez. He was one of those guys, I think, tagged that we had heard had a really discerning eye, kind of like Justin Smoke, and we saw that in 2008. That kind of disappeared for him in 2009. I think he got off to that slow start and just started trying to make too much happen, and he really got away from being that kind of player. On the ground here short. And Pennington to Barton for the out. Both bullpens are active again in a 3-1 game in the 7th.
Number 29.
That's the sidearmer Brad Ziegler down there for the A's. And the only lefty in the Rangers pen, that's Darren Oliver.
Well, the A's pitchers in the last couple of games have made some good pitches with their breaking balls when they had to. Late in the game yesterday, a couple of those sliders down and away got ground balls. They've had 3 double plays today. Much of the same today.
Bourbon with a bunt. Ross has got to come down and field it. Close at first base. And Julio bunting for the hit is out.
No, it's a good play if you beat it out, but with 1 out, I think most of the time you like to see Bourbon swing, but he's struggling with the bat. He's thinking about, well, if I can get a couple of men on, I got the top of the order coming up. Boy, he is way inside the line. We saw that play called in Seattle, and the Seattle runner wasn't anywhere near where Julio was on that play. I think he could have called interference on that. And so he's trying to make something happen. It's a good try. Speed. The bunt has to become part of his repertoire, just like Elvis has used it the last couple of days. It was a good idea.
Elvis with 3 bunt hits in the last 2 games. It's another close game for the Rangers. 9 of the last 10 games now have been decided by 1 run or 2. Not seeing a lot of blowouts either way here in 2010. Good theater.
To waste that leadoff double.
And Ramirez with that ground ball right after that failed to move the runner.
Elvis has been excellent with men in scoring position so far this year.
Yeah, best in the league. Towards right field, it hangs in the air for Sweeney. And that leadoff double does not blossom for the Rangers. We're at the stretch. Rangers trail by 2. Out to the game for Mother's Day Sunday. The Rangers take on the Royals at 2:05. The first 15,000 fans 14 and older receive a Mother's Day reusable bag courtesy of J.C. Penney. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Darren Oliver takes over on the mound. Colby Lewis is done after 6. Struck out 6. Walked 3. And the veteran, the 39-year-old Darren Oliver, to Rajay Davis. Third time as a Ranger, still getting it done after all this time. Here's a base hit for Davis, though. Got a 12-game hitting streak against the Rangers going back to last year.
Now batting, shortstop, number 2, Cliff Pennington.
Now the top of the order, Cliff Pennington. Tomorrow night, a 7:05 first pitch in Arlington. Matt Harrison will throw it. Friday, C.J. Wilson and again Zach Greinke, last year's Cy Young winner, will go for the Royals. Another 7:05 game. Fireworks after. There's the bunt from Pennington, and Oliver has to scamper to the other side of the mound. He falls off towards third. Had to get over there towards first. The A's looking for an insurance run here in the 7th. Derek Barton comes up next.
If Pennington bunted that a little harder, he probably would have got a base hit.
Number 10, Derek Barton.
Darren's able to recover and still make the play.
And Davis with real good speed will take that lead off at second. He's going. Max Ramirez is throwing. Following a strike, it's too late. The steal of third. And Davis just looks a little itchy to run right there, and off he went.
He's good. He's a number one. He's fast, but he's also a good base runner, good base stealer, good technique.
He and Juan Pierre are the only 2 American leaguers with 12 steals. Infield is in for the Rangers. Breaking ball missing to Barton.
Ed Davis is a guy that could lead the league in steals easy, especially if he starts getting on base a little bit more. Came into the game hitting only .240. He doesn't walk a lot. His on-base percentage is only .290. That's why he's hitting 9th instead of 1st.
With the infield drawn in, Barton comes through. Now 4-1. Real nice afternoon for Derek Barton. He's going to second base. Safe. Sure looked like a single off the bat.
It looked like a single so much to me. I took my eye off the play and looked at my scorecard and see what happened.
Borbone did have a long way to come, but a quick little bobble.
Once he bobbled the ball, Barton never stopped. Good instincts by Barton. He ran hard to first. He took a big turn. And as soon as the ball was bobbled, he just kept right on going.
Single E8. And a runner at second, still just 1 out. Rangers having made 2 errors in the game today. Now, one last inning, the 3-base throwing error ended up not hurting, but still not a good-looking line score right now. 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors. Sweeney hit one to the warning track last time up. Flagged down by Borbone. Sweeney pokes it out of play. Got to mention, tomorrow night, by the way, that 7:05 game, that is an active seniors Thursday. Fans 65 and older can get a free ticket in select seating areas at the purchase of a regularly priced ticket. When proof of age is presented at the Rangers ballpark box office. 972 Rangers, the number to call to get more pertinent details. Oliver in there to Sweeney to strike him out. Real nice to keep this damage down to a minimum here. Keep it 4-1.
Now batting, third baseman, number 5, Kevin Kuzma.
They're going to go ahead and put Kuzminoff on and go lefty-lefty in a battle that has been waged for years between Darren Oliver and Eric Chavez. Of course, Darren spent time not only with the Rangers, but with the Angels. And in the thick of the AL West, you see these teams so often.
Yeah, for some of those years, I think Darren was probably the only lefty in Mike Sosa's bullpen. Although the last few years, Chavez hasn't played a lot for the A's. He's been injured. Last really full year he had was 2006, 2005 maybe.
Fox has come out on deck instead. The Whitey, who has not faced Darren Oliver.
Number 50.
Yeah, for the most part, in Chavez's career, he would not be pinch hit for a different stage of his career right now. Watching Fox take batting practice today, he pretty much tries to hit a ball over the left field wall every time he swings. At least today he did.
They put up some big power numbers last year in the Cubs organization. Mike Maddox out to talk to Darren Oliver, make sure he's got the right scouting report here on this big beefy right-hander out of the University of Michigan. So a swap of DHs here, Fox instead of Chavez. 2 on, 2 out. Rangers trying to stay within 4-1. There's that big swing right away.
Probably a good idea not to throw Fox a fastball on the first pitch. Throw him a good breaking ball.
Broke his bat, and this ball is going to end up in shallow right. Kinsler's got it.
Well, you wouldn't know Ian had a bad leg on that one. Bad ankle on that one. He's had a sprint with an excellent jump and kind of catch it like a wide receiver. Going out for a pass. Nice play.
That's the catch that Darius Hayward Bay never made on this field. Fox Saturday Baseball, the Yankees going to Fenway to take on the Red Sox. Coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser at a special time of 2 Central. Following This Week in Baseball, this Saturday on Fox. Got a new pitcher to tell you about for the Oakland A's. That is Brad Ziegler. As the 8th inning begins, the Rangers trailing 4-1. Young to third base. And a hitless afternoon for Michael. He'll come home with a chance to get past Rafael Palmeiro for second all-time on the Ranger hit list. Or maybe he'll get it done today. Check out the numbers on Ziegler. Always real tough on the righties. A pretty nice job, Mr. Grieve, by young Tyson Ross. 2 innings of shutout baseball.
Second time in this series he's come in and thrown the ball well. He's a sinker slider pitcher. Kept the ball down. Kept the ball out of the hitter's zone. Yeah, you have to credit him for 2 good outings in this series.
Hamilton, a big rip. He had the bad hop single in the 6th that looked like would get the Rangers going. They had first and third, nobody out. And then first and second and nobody out with a run in, but they couldn't add to that.
Josh had a hit off Ziegler last night to drive him in.
Going to take this one. Trevor Cahill is on line for the win. After he was hit hard that other start that he made this year up in Toronto. Gave up 3 home runs in 5 innings. He kept the Rangers in the yard in 5 innings today. Hamilton doing something he really hasn't been doing a lot of this year. Just kind of flailing away at that pitch outside.
That's a lot like the pitch he drove into left field last night, which, you know, may indicate that he's not seeing the ball as well today as he was last night. It was a changeup, tailing down and away. Last night, Josh was able to wait on that ball and drive it on the ground into left field to pick up a run.
Now Vladimir Guerrero will hit the first one he sees in a right. Ryan Sweeney surrounds it. Boy, that's a nice part of the order. Got taken away very quickly. 2, 3, 4. Go down 1, 2, 3. In the bottom of the 8th, Darren Oliver went 1 inning after Colby Lewis went 6 today. And the Rangers, who started this road trip at 4-0, are in danger of finishing up 4-2.
Darren still yet to give up an earned run this year.
Starts off with Adam Rosales, who keeps getting playing time with Mark Ellis on the DL for the A's. Got to give it to the A's. I mean, no one expected them to be anything this year. They had a lot of key players hurt. 2 outfielders, second baseman, catcher, ace starting pitcher, and if they win today, they're in first place. Had a decent start last year for Bob Guerin as well, but they just couldn't sustain it. We talked earlier, Tom, about the Mariners and their struggles. They had that loss at home yesterday. They were getting booed by the home crowd. And Milton Bradley taken out of the game by Don Wakamatsu for a couple of passive at-bats, one with the bases loaded. And it's a weird thing to say out loud because, you know, nobody really knew that much about Doug Fister. But we can say, where would they be without Doug Fister? Leading the league in earned run average.
They'd probably be right where they are now in last place.
Oh, all right. Well, never mind.
They wouldn't have as good a record, though. Yeah, the Mariners are going to stay competitive because of their pitching. But it's good. Their hitting right now is going to keep them from being a strong contender all season long. They're going to have to either start hitting or do something to get some hitters. And hot Sean Figgins would help. Figgins hasn't been hot yet. When he gets hot, he and Ichiro certainly provide some offense.
There are 4 individual players in baseball right now that have as many home runs as the Mariners team.
Yeah.
Rangers swept Seattle, but here in Oakland, they're in danger of losing 2 out of 3. Rosales waves and misses. Down he goes.
See Max give the sign. Watch him. He's almost standing up. He wants this ball to be high.
Left fielder.
And it is. And they get the result they're looking for. Up and away. Got Rosales to swing and miss at it. No jump with a swing and a miss.
No.
Only when the called strike comes.
That's when he does the time warp again up there at home plate. Here's Patterson, who's had a nice afternoon. A homer, walk, and a steal. And O'Day slides one in for a strike. Two strikes from O'Day to Patterson. The A's have a top shelf closer. He's getting ready right now. It's Andrew Bailey, who's gone almost 20 innings in a row without giving up a run since last year.
Rangers had a good shot at getting a run against him last night. They couldn't quite do it, though.
It all started with Matt Trainor's at bat. Boy, he continues to be a Darren O'Day-like find for the Rangers here in 2010. Trainor got it started with the single. Gentry pinch ran and stole second base. See you later. Darren O'Day strikes out Patterson.
Still amazed at the home run that Patterson hit back in the fifth inning. Golfed that low curveball from Colby Lewis over the wall. What do you think last night when Sweeney hit a high fastball out of here? You know, big swing, big guy, hit right on top of the wall. And then Patterson, tiny little guy, golfs a curveball farther than that one went last night.
Boy, Darren O'Day looking good. Quickly ahead of Powell 0-2. Kinsler is set to lead off in the ninth for the Rangers. And again, a tall order. They got to go get Bailey. Tagged in a center field, Bourbon. Right there to grab it. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th. Here comes Kinsler and company. Rangers trail by 3. Salute to Ian Kinsler today. He has sparkled defensively, and any concerns about that right ankle of his, I mean, probably sweep those away with how he's gone at it this afternoon here in Oakland. Ian will be at the plate to lead it off in the 9th. The Rangers needing base runners. The closer, Andrew Bailey, has not allowed a run this year. Only 1 walk this year. The Rangers came close to getting him yesterday. And they came up short 7-6. Last year's Rookie of the Year deals another strike to Kinsler.
He's got a mid-90s fastball, a hard slider. Very aggressive pitcher, comes right at you. He overpowers most hitters.
Only the second ever reliever to make the All-Star team and win Rookie of the Year in the same season. Only other time it happened, it was Scott Williamson of the 1999 Reds. Kinsler pops one up, back into the crowd.
By the crowd reaction, someone must have caught it.
I would say it's that guy.
And by our picture, it must have been him.
His lady friend is just back with a tasty beverage and got himself a baseball, too. It's a good 5 seconds for that dude. Kinsler towards center. Rajai Davis has got it. Rangers live after the game. And the Rangers heading home to start a homestand tomorrow. 14 of the next 17 games will be at the ballpark. And it kicks off against the Royals tomorrow. It's the Royals' only trip in all year. They're coming in for 4. For you Unieski Betancourt fans, this is your only opportunity. And the Royals play tonight. They are in Chicago, so they'll be getting in much later than the Rangers do. They have some young talent on that team. They've been hitting very well.
Yeah, they hit well except when Zach Greinke pitches. But they are getting, I think they're, well, they hit well in spring training, too.
Rangers and Royals share that spring training complex. They know each other very well. Yeah, Greinke's had an ERA of 2, doesn't have a win yet. Outside to Murphy. One of the best eyes up there at the plate for the Rangers. Right back to Bailey. Wow, he finds it and he throws out Murphy. That's a tough 0 for 4 for David Murphy today. He's hit the ball hard a couple times.
Yeah, the one David hit in the 6th inning with a man on base. He pulled it right down the line. Barton made a nice play. Would have been a double and maybe a run.
Justin Smoke will take a strike. Well, this would be 11 of the last 15 games back to last year that the Rangers will have lost to Oakland if they can't rally.
Curveball right there.
Smoke stays alive. Trying to check his swing, he did. So it'll be the first loss this year for Colby Lewis. And the first win for Trevor Cahill. High fly ball. Kuzminoff looking. And he's got it. Your final today, the A's 4, the Rangers 1. The Rangers will come home in second place, a half a game behind the A's. We'll come back and wrap it up for you in just a moment. Again, the A's over the Rangers today, 4-1.